Hello guys, I'm here with part 5 of What If Goku and Broly were merged. I do hope you enjoy, and if you want more what ifs, make sure to subscribe and like the video. 2 weeks later on planet Namek. It was daytime on planet Namek. It was almost always daytime due to their multiple suns. Landing on planet Namek. Prepare for landing. Brockert let out a breath. It had been a rough 2 weeks. He had prepared himself mentally for the upcoming fight. He knew that he had made it a week earlier than Frieza and his men. It allowed for him and his crew to warn the citizens of planet Namek and collect the Dragon Balls before Frieza could use them. He also hoped to see Kami. It had been a long time since he had spoken to his adopted father, and he was hoping to introduce him to Campo. "Get ready, we are about to land," spoke Brockert. "Yes, King Brockert," yelled the warriors, who immediately equipped their armors, hid their senzu bags in their breastplates, and braced for the landing. The landing was surprisingly gentle, a testament to Bulma's brilliance. As they exited the ship, they were immediately met with a tall Namekian warrior who exuded quite a bit of power. "Welcome to planet Namek. May I ask who you are and what are your intentions?" said the alien warrior with a bit of warning in his voice, as if to say, "Be wary." Brockert smiled politely and said to the Namekian, "I am Brockert, king of planet Earth as well as the Saiyan race. I've come to your planet to warn your people of an intergalactic tyrant by the name of Frieza. He is coming to this planet in an attempt to use your Dragon Balls to wish for immortality. I have come to kill him. I ask that you take me to your leader so that we may make a plan of action in response to this threat," said Brockert, politeness and sincerity radiating from the charming Saiyan king. The Namekian looked at Brockert briefly as if to judge his sincerity before nodding his head. "Fine, in behalf of our race we thank you for this warning. You may come see Lord Guru, but your companions will have to stay, as I do not feel comfortable with so many alien warriors in the company of Lord Guru," said the Namekian. "That is fine, Campo, you will lead in my stead. Stay here with the other warriors and protect the ship. Capsulize it and keep it in your breastplate with a bag of senzus. Use a capsule house and tell everyone to rest and prepare for the coming threat. If I'm not back by tomorrow, I want you to begin training for the rest of the week. Use the ship's gravity chamber," said Brockert. Campo nodded in response and quickly capsulized the ship before taking out another capsule, spawning a house. "So, what is your name?" asked Brockert to the Namekian. "Nail. Now let us go," said Nail before flying off in Guru's direction, Brockert immediately following behind. The two warriors did not speak for the rest of the short journey, as in a matter of minutes they appeared before a white building-like tower and landed in front of its entrance. Lord Guru is the oldest Namekian alive and is the father of all the Namekians alive except for Lord Kami. "Please treat him with utmost respect," spoke Nail, looking at Brockert with respect, having sensed the warrior's immense power but had not mentioned it for the sake of not being rude and invasive. Brockert nodded and entered, only to see an 8-foot-tall Namekian, fat and old, sitting upon his throne. Beside Guru was a strangely familiar Namekian. "No, can it be, Kami? How did you become so young?" spoke Brockert in surprise. His father looked to be in the prime of his youth, so in contrast to what he remembered. Kami smiled after seeing his son all grown up. "Brockert, you are even taller than I last remembered." "Yes, I saw the necessity of using the Dragon Balls to become young again. My age was greatly limiting my power, especially after I fused with Piccolo. What use would I be to my people if I was weak?" said Kami. "I understand. I'm happy to see you're all right. And you've grown so strong. Amazing. You're stronger than I was when I left the lookout. I'm really happy to see you, father, but I came for an important reason. You see, a powerful tyrant named Frieza. He is coming to planet Namek." He somehow realized that the myth of the Dragon Balls were true and is heading here intent on wishing for immortality and destroying the Namekian race or enslaving them so no one else can use the Dragon Balls. Kami and Guru's eyes narrowed in anger at the thought of their race being killed or enslaved to the whims of a tyrant. How long do we have, spoke Guru for the first time, his voice thick with fatigue, his wrinkles seemingly growing more defined by the sudden news. A week. But don't worry, I have confidence in my ability to defeat him. Though that doesn't mean we shouldn't take every precaution, said Brokarat. What do you have in mind, son, spoke Kami. I think we should gather the Dragon Balls and use them, making them inert for a year. We should also wish the inhabitants of Namek, except for Kami and Nail and any other warriors including myself and the Z warriors, to planet Earth. This way we kill two birds with one stone, said Brokarat. A wise idea, but what of the other two wishes, said Guru. 2 wishes? What do you mean? I thought the Dragon Balls could only grant 1 wish, said Brokarat. Yes, that may be true for the ones made by Kami on Earth. But Purunga is a much more powerful dragon. He can grant 3 wishes. I have spoken about the differences between our sets of Dragon Balls with Kami. And the only real difference other than the amount of wishes is Purunga's ability to revive numerous dead at once. For the purpose of not tempting ourselves, we made it so Purunga can only revive 1 person at a time, though after Kami arrived 6 years ago we have changed that specification. Purunga can now revive multiple people in 1 wish. We may change it back after this threat is over with. We are tempted to revive our fallen comrades after every event, as death comes when it should, and we believe it is not right to take advantage of the Dragon Balls, but in this case I'll make an exception. I will not allow my people to become extinct on the whim of this, Frieza, said Guru, before lifting his hand behind his head and giving a Dragon Ball to Nail. My son, go to the villages and collect the Dragon Balls and return as quickly as you can, said Guru. Yes, father, said Nail, taking the Dragon Ball before flying out to get the Dragon Balls. So once again, what of the other 2 wishes, asked Guru. Brokarat thought for a moment. He looked at Kami and Guru, and his genius mind quickly thought up an ingenious plan. How about this? We use the 2nd wish to bring Guru back to his youth, and Guru and Kami fuse together. That is possible, I assume, but if it isn't, we can use the 3rd wish. This way your combined powers will give you the strength to possibly defeat Frieza or anyone else that may come, because as you are right now, I don't know how much you can do, said Brokarat, directing the latter of his words towards Kami. Guru briefly stiffened, before he sighed and nodded his head as Kami looked shocked at the thought of fusing with his mentor and companion for the past 6 years. Yes, I believe this must be done. I had hoped to leave this world as I have lived a long time, but my duty to my people precedes my desire for rest, said Guru before directing his attention back towards Brokarat. As for fusion, it is possible without using the Dragon Balls, said Guru before Kami quickly interrupted. Please, Guru. I will fuse with you, but you will be the main body. I cannot take your existence away. Surely you are more deserving of this honor than I, said Kami, looking towards his elder and companion with pleading eyes. No, brother. I have lived long enough. With this fusion my conscience will slowly be absorbed into your own. My knowledge of the Namekian heritage can be passed on to my people. You can take up the rule as guardian of Namek, and I can find rest as a part of you. This is not a request, Kami. I am not a fighter. I am not able to take lives no matter how evil. It is not in my nature, but you can, said Guru. Kami looked at his brother in race and shed a tear before nodding his head. Brokarat looked between Kami and Guru in wonder before speaking. As for the 3rd wish, I will wish for the planet Namek to become indestructible, and, yes, in the planet Earth. I can't believe I haven't thought of this before. Anyhow, with that wish, we can guarantee that Frieza won't simply destroy Namek and run like a coward when he realizes he cannot defeat me, said Brokarat, a smile slowly growing on his face as he spoke. Kami also smiled. A genius plan. You once again show your immense intelligence, my son. Now, I believe you should call Campo and the rest of the Z warriors, so that Guru here may unlock their potential," said Kami, suddenly making Guru smile and Bharat give a confused look towards his mentor and father. "Unlock their potential? How will you do that?" said Bharat. "I can unlock powers locked deep within people. The mind is complex. When faced with power that it fears will harm the body, it locks it away. I can unlock some of that power, the rest can only be unlocked through rigorous training of the body and mind. This will give you and your warriors the upper hand against Frieza. By the time you have returned, based on the speed of your slowest member, Nail should have finished gathering the Dragon Ball," said Guru. Bharat nodded before flying out and back to his ship, where he found Campo and the Z warriors sitting down and conversing. Campo looked up at his father and asked, "Back so soon, Dad?" "So what happened, everyone? We are going to meet the elder of the Namekian race. He said he could unlock hidden potential which will give us an edge against Frieza." "Everyone follow me," said Bharat. The rest of the Z warriors nodded before flying off in pursuit of Bharat, who was flying at a much slower pace so that his soldiers could keep up. It was about 3 hours later that they reached Guru's home. As they entered, they were surprised to see a giant Namekian sitting on a throne, and a young wise-looking Namekian standing next to him. "Z warriors, this is my adopted father, Kami, and next to him on the throne is the father of the Namekian people, Guru. Please show them proper respect," said Bharat. The Z warriors all bowed towards Guru and Kami. Kami inspected the warriors, and when his eyes landed on a young man, looking to be around 12 years of age by his height alone, he gasped, "Could this be?" "Campo, is that you?" said Kami. Campo looked towards the Namekian in confusion before recognition came to his eyes. "Grandpa," Kami said Campo as he ran up to and hugged Kami. Bharat smiled as Kami asked, "Yeah, who else? Didn't you realize who I was when Bharat introduced me?" Campo blushed embarrassed before saying, "No. I thought you were just someone else with the same name as Grandpa. I've missed you so much, Grandpa," said Campo. He had not seen Kami in 6 years and a half, ever since he was a young toddler. If it had not been for his Saiyan memory, he would not have remembered him. His father had not visited Kami in a long time when he was on Earth, but Kami used to visit him disguised as a human. He used to play with Campo, but he stopped disguising himself later on, and when Bharat was away training, he would sit with Campo and teach the young toddler how to fight. Bulma allowed it since Kami was the guardian of Earth and she wanted to surprise Bharat. When she asked why Kami didn't simply reveal himself to Bharat, Kami said that he would wait until Bharat came to see him at the lookout as a surprise. Sadly, Kami forgot to tell Bharat as the events with Piccolo happened and Kami had to leave Earth to see his people on planet Namek. Years later, Campo began to ask about Grandpa Kami, and when Bharat asked how he knew him, he told him of the visits. Guru spoke up, "I apologize for interrupting, but please let us begin. I sense much potential in the young one." Campo stepped forward as Campo complied instantly, being well disciplined from all his training. Guru put a hand on his head and as if the metaphorical dam was broken, energy rushed through Campo's body as his power nearly doubled in strength. "Ah, amazing," said Campo in excitement, feeling stronger than ever before. Guru took his hand off of Campo and gestured to the rest of the Z warriors, who stepped forward one at a time to get their potential released. Finally, when Bharat's turn came and Guru placed his hand over his head, a gasp quickly escaped his lips before he spoke. "You have a deep rage inside you. I cannot release your power without releasing this rage. But I can help you tame it and ease the burden," said Guru, before he concentrated and Bharat felt a calmness come over him. He had always been calm and collected, but he always felt a deep rage in him, a desire to destroy and demolish. He had long ago trained himself to tune it out and suppress it. But as if an unnoticed burden was lifted off of him, Bharat felt immense relief. As if he was stressed his entire life and only now does he feel at peace. I've done what I can, you must train hard, you have a seemingly unlimited potential but nothing comes for free. Though I have seen your memories and have faith that you will be able to control it, said Guru. Brockhardt looked up at the ancient Namekian with respect and gratitude. Truly, the old man had to be immensely knowledgeable to be able to end his inner turmoil so easily. Brockhardt looked behind him suddenly as 4 Namekians landed behind them at the entrance of the hut. Each one carrying 2 Dragon Balls except the last, who only carried 1. We have brought the Dragon Balls, Lord Guru, spoke one of the 4 warriors. Yes, put them down outside and come in. I desire something from you, my children, spoke Guru. The warriors quickly moved to obey and placed all the Dragon Balls outside the hut in a circle before returning before Lord Guru. Come closer, my children, said Guru. They quickly obeyed, and Guru placed his hand on the head of each one, including Nail. I know you have all worked hard for your power. But a threat comes to our planet, and I cannot hold back any resource. I will release your potentials and you 4 will fuse. It must be done. I know what I ask of you is immense, but I cannot trust others to fight all our battles. The Namekian race was once the strongest race in the universe, but after the cataclysm I was the only one of my people to remain alive on Namek. My peaceful nature leads me to withhold many of you from becoming warriors, leading only to 4 of you existing of all my children. After this day I will fuse with Kami, and you 4 shall become one warrior. I made a mistake by weakening my people and I'm sorry that you must pay for it. Please forgive me, my children, said Guru, who was crying after releasing the potential of his children, who all looked at Guru in tears before speaking. Guru, you are our father and Namek is our planet. We would do anything to protect it, even sacrificing our individuality. Do not cry on our behalf. We are warriors, we fight to protect our people and the peace of our race. This is what we were born to do, said Nail. Before looking at the other 3 warriors, who simply nodded one by one as Nail placed his hand on each of their chests, absorbing his brethren and their power into him. After he was done, the Namekian warrior looked at himself. His power was enormous, but he couldn't get excited. His brethren had sacrificed themselves. There was no reason to smile or get excited. This power was of their sacrifice, and though it makes him feel invincible, he won't let it go his head. Piccolo, anyone? Yes, I can do this. I feel great, lol. Brockhardt marveled at the amazing ability of the Namekian people. They were a truly powerful race. Guru suddenly spoke up. Brockhardt, Nail, go use the Dragon Balls. Brockhardt will tell you what to say, Nail. As the Namekian dragon only grants wishes in Namekian. Nail, Kami and I will fuse after the wishes are done, said Guru apprehensively. Nail had heard Guru the first time but hadn't registered what he said until now. What? But you'll disappear. You won't appear in the other world even after Kami dies. You'll cease to exist, said Nail, horrified at the thought of the father of his people being deprived of an afterlife. Yes, but that is the sacrifice I must make for my people. Understand this, Nail. Nothing comes without sacrifice. This is my duty to you, my children, and I will do it willingly, said Guru, causing Nail to become silent before he walked up to his father and kissed his hand in respect. I love you, father. And one day I'll find a way to undo the fusion. Even if I have to use the Dragon Ball, said Nail determinedly. Guru smiled. I know you will, my son, but let that day be a long time from now, because we are in an era where my strength will be needed. I sense much turmoil in the universe. So much will happen in the years to come. The universe will be put at risk by one evil after another. I fear for the universe's inhabitants, and I feel Brockhardt is connected somehow. That the lines of fate stem from him. Until the universe is safe, do not defuse me if you find a way, said Guru. Nail gasped at the implication. The entire universe at risk? What power could do such a thing? Before he could ponder it any further, Brockhardt spoke out to him. Whatever it is, I will fight it. But now, we have more pressing matters, we must make the wishes, said Brockeret. Nail nodded and flew to the dragon balls that were laid in a circle a few hundred meters from Guru's hut. Nail looked upon the dragon balls before speaking in his language, "Arise Purunga, and grant my wishes." In a flash of orange thunder, a giant muscular dragon appeared. "What are your wishes?" "I will grant you 3," spoke the dragon in a voice that echoed for miles around him. "What is the first wish, Brockeret?" asked Nail. "The first wish is for all the inhabitants of Namek except for you, Kami, Guru, me and my people to be sent to Earth," said Brockeret. "Have my people been warned? It would be confusing for them if they suddenly appear on a different planet," said Nail. Suddenly Nail heard a voice in his head. "I have told my children, worry not, my son." "Make the wish," said Guru in Nail's mind. Nail nodded to himself, confusing Brockeret, who was about to reply, and spoke to Purunga. "Purunga, I wish that everyone on planet Namek except for Lord Guru, Kami, myself, Brockeret and the people he came with to be on planet Earth," said Nail in Namekian. "Your wish has been granted," said the muscular dragon in a booming voice. "What is the second wish?" asked Nail. Brockeret, brushing away his confusion, spoke. "The second wish is for Lord Guru, to return to the prime of his youth." Nail was shocked at the wish, but after a moment he relaxed, understanding the value of such a wish. "O mighty dragon, I wish that Lord Guru was at the prime of his youth once again," said Nail. "Your wish has been granted," said Purunga as Guru inside his hut began to glow and shrink into a 7-foot-tall, muscular and handsome man. "Ah, I haven't been filled with such strength in centuries. It is time," Guru said, as he approached Kami, who nodded at the quite powerful Namekian elder. Guru placed his hand on Kami's head, causing a glow to cover Kami. "You are now this planet's guardian. Take good care of it, and birth many children. The Namekian race will flourish under you, son of Cadus, of this I am sure," said Guru before telling Kami to place his hand on his chest. Guru yelled as he began to glow and was slowly absorbed into Kami. This power is incredible. The knowledge. There is so much I had not known. Amazing. I do not doubt my ability to defeat this Frieza. Not with power like this," said Kami before calming down as wisdom of centuries upon centuries stopped him from becoming arrogant. "No, I might be powerful, but I will not let it get to my head." "What is the final wish, Brockeret?" said Nail, who had tears in his eyes as he felt the ki of his father disappear and the immense increase in Kami's strength. "Wish that planet Namek and planet Earth are indestructible," said Brockeret. Nail smiled at the wisdom of such a wish before speaking to Purunga once again. "Purunga, I wish that the planet Namek and the planet Earth could not be destroyed," yelled Nail. Purunga stared at Nail and Brockeret for a few moments before replying, "That is a powerful wish. But it is within my ability," said Purunga before his eyes glowed red. A minute went by before the dragon spoke again. "Your wish has been granted." The dragon disappeared into the dragon balls that floated high in the sky before scattering around the planet. "There, it is done. What shall we do now?" asked Nail. "We must go and train, retrieve Kami and meet me at my ship. There we can use a chamber that can increase gravity to train until the arrival of Frieza and his soldiers," said Brockeret. Nail nodded before he flew towards Guru's hut while Brockeret flew back towards his ship. The rest of the Z warriors who had been outside the hut, having witnessed both the fusion of Kami and Guru and the summoning of Purunga, shook out of their amazement and flew after their king. 1 week later. It had been a week since the summoning of Purunga. The Z warriors, Kami, Brockeret and Nail took turns training hard in the gravity room, harder than ever before, preparing for the coming confrontation. Each one training at their own gravity settings, as the difference in power between them was immense. Brockeret was training with Campo when suddenly he sensed almost 100 key signatures approaching the planet rapidly. He signaled Campo to stop before walking outside and calling the Z warriors together, as well as Kami and Nail. Brockeret took out his senzu bag, eating a senzu bean as the Z warriors all did the same. Brockarud handed a senzu to Kami and Nail, who both consumed the miracle beans, completely wiping away any fatigue and healing their sore muscles. As soon as Frieza's ship touched down, Brockarud narrowed his eyes. It is time. Yamcha, Tien, Campo, Nail, Krillin, you will kill Frieza's henchmen. Leave none alive, they are all murderers and don't deserve to exist, said Brockarud in a firm voice. Yes, King Brockarud, yelled the Z warriors. Will do, said Nail, nodding in Brockarud's direction. Kami, you come with me. I'll fight Frieza alone, but if he somehow gets too much for me, we'll fight him together. I want you to take my bag of senzus and keep it safe in case I start to lose. I don't know how much ki Frieza has suppressed, but I'll need every bit of power I have to kill him, said Brockarud. Turtles, Raditz, come in, said Brockarud from his scouter. Yes, King Brockarud, spoke Raditz and Turtles. I am about to engage Frieza. How is planet Earth? Did you find the Namekians? Said Brockarud. Yes, King Brockarud, they are safe in Capsule Corp and the Earth has engaged no threat. An idiot named Garlic Jr. attempted to attack at the lookout, but we took him out in an instant, said Turtles. Brockarud smiled. Oh yes, Garlic Jr., good that he's finally dead. Truly he was delusional. So, you're finally going to kill Frieza, said Raditz. Our race will be avenged, brothers. Frieza will never hurt anyone again, said Brockarud. I hope so, brother. Be strong, my king, and may God bring you the highest honor, said Raditz. May he grant us all retribution, said Brockarud before turning off his scouter. Let's go, it's time to show Frieza what happens when you mess with the Saiyan race, said Brockarud before floating up to the air and flying towards Frieza's ship, Nail. The Z warriors and Kami quickly following behind him. Frieza's ship, soon immortality will be mine, thought the evil space tyrant sitting on his floating throne over the ground of planet Namek. Zarbon, what are the power levels of the strongest fighters? Said Frieza, too lazy to use his own scouter to check. 1 second, my lord. What? 500,000, yelled Zarbon in utter shock. That was as powerful as Lord Frieza. Frieza suddenly stilled, eyes wide. What? How can anyone be that strong? No one has ever come close to the power of my first form. Not even Captain Jinyu is at half. I must transform before this power arrives. I cannot let myself be killed before I can transform. Frieza suddenly jumped out of his floating throne, smashing it to pieces below him before looking straight ahead as he began to power up. Cracks began to form in his armor, and in a matter of moments he grew 3 feet to stand at a height of 7 feet, 2 horns protruding from his skull and a smirk on his face. You have the honor of seeing me in my second form, Zarbon. In this form my power is at 1 million. Did you really think anyone could equal me, Lord Frieza, in power? No, of course not, Lord Frieza. You look amazing, said Zarbon as Dodoria and the rest of Frieza's crew came out of the ship to see what caused the sudden explosion, only to stare at what seemed to be a giant Frieza in awe. Before anyone could comment, a man appeared, wearing Saiyan armor, a scouter on his face and muscles covering his body like a layer of clothing. He was tall, extremely tall, taller than Lord Frieza in his second form. He had a tail. He was a Saiyan. He looked at Frieza with a glare and a scowl on his face when suddenly 6 warriors appeared behind him. 3 of which looked like Saiyans without tails. One was definitely a Saiyan, and from his looks he was the son of the Saiyan standing in front. 2 of them were Namekians, both glaring in the direction of Frieza, completely ignoring Frieza's soldiers. So, we meet at last. Frieza, I am Brockarud, son of Bardock, brother of Raditz and Turtles. And I am your end, he spoke before giving a signal as all hell broke loose. The Z warriors flew at amazing speeds, cutting down Frieza's minions one at a time. Zarbon was the first to go, his head falling off before he could even react. Dodoria was next, a hole put in his stomach by Campo's fist. Frieza's soldiers stared in shock at the death of the 2 strongest soldiers. One of them flew quickly into the ship, while the rest charged at the Z warriors and Nail in panic. They were slaughtered in seconds. Frieza stood uncaring at the death of his crew. Campo, seeing this, laughed before raising his hand and destroying Frieza's ship. This got a reaction out of the tyrant, who screamed in anger, "How dare you destroy my ship? You'll pay for that with your blood, you filthy monkeys. I don't know how you knew of my arrival, but you will all die by my hands. I should have checked every planet in the universe until I wiped out your entire filthy urge," said Frieza as Brockert appeared before him, smashing his fist into his stomach. "Your voice annoys me," screamed Brockert, causing Frieza's eyes to widen in fear before he found his head smashed into the ground. "Is this the fearsome Lord Frieza? Is this the so-called tyrant of the galaxy that I've been spending years preparing for? You are nothing but a weakling and a coward," yelled Brockert as he continued to stomp on Frieza's downed face. Stop it, yelled Frieza in a burst of energy, pushing Brockert off of him, causing him to fly back a few meters before he stopped himself and looked at Frieza with a blank face. "You think this is the limit of my power? No, I can transform twice more. I'll destroy you, you piece of shit monkey. Even if I have to use my full power," screamed Frieza before once again he began to yell as an aura surrounded him and cracks appeared in his armor. Brockert just looked in boredom. He waited a minute before Frieza finally stopped shouting and appeared in all his glory. Frieza smirked. "So, are you afraid, you pathetic ape scum?" said Frieza, a crazed look upon his face. Brockert just looked at him before saying, "I know this isn't your full power, Frieza. Keep going, I'll wait. I want to beat you at your best to show you how hopeless your situation is," said Brockert, a bored expression on his face causing a vein to appear on Frieza's forehead before he shouted once again. "I won't need my full power to destroy a pathetic monkey like you. Take this." Death beam, yelled Frieza before he shot a beam at Brockert, who stood his ground unmoving before the beam hit him, and bounced off of him like a rubber ball. "What? How? No one has ever survived the death beam before. How can anyone other than an Arcosian be this powerful? I knew I made the right decision when I destroyed your race," said Frieza, causing Brockert's bored expression to change into one of rage before he appeared before Frieza in a flash. "I'm getting tired of you, Frieza, and I've only just met you. You are disgusting. If you won't power up, then I'll just kill you," said Brockert before he headbutted Frieza before grabbing him as his body was about to fly away from the force of his previous blow. He continued to smash his hand into Frieza's skull before bringing the Arcosian back to him once again and smashing his knee into Frieza's gut. Bluod was the only sound Frieza made as disgusting purple blood flowed through his lips as he was repeatedly smashed into Brockert's fist, knee, fist, knee, fist, knee. Seemingly endlessly before Brockert finally let Frieza go and kicked him in the stomach, causing him to fly back into a mountain, smashing face first. Everyone looked in awe. They knew Brockert was powerful, but this was amazing. Frieza was currently as strong as all the Z fighters put together excluding Nail, Kami and Campo. And yet Brockert was demolishing him repeatedly. It was almost surreal how effortlessly Brockert was winning. Suddenly the rubble in the mountain exploded as Frieza came out, a terrified expression on his face. Brockert immediately appeared in front of him, posed to strike, but before he could attack, Frieza spoke. "Wait. Please let me power up to my maximum. Maybe then I can provide you with the challenge?" "Wouldn't you like a challenge?" said Frieza, knowing the psychology of the Saiyan race. The stupid apes couldn't resist the thought of a good fight. Brockert just looked at Frieza with a neutral expression before saying one thing. "Fuck you," and suddenly Frieza's body was shredded. Brockert's hands appearing as a blur as he shredded Frieza's entire body to pieces with his bare hands before lifting up the limbs with his mind and sending them into the sky before blasting them into ashes. Brockert stood still without a sound as he looked at the falling ashes of Lord Frieza with disappointment. His whole life he was powerful. Never had there been someone equal to him in power. Who could actually give him a challenge? He thought Frieza would be stronger, yet here he is, destroyed effortlessly. But Brockhardt was not a slave of his instincts. Yes, he wanted to let Frieza reach full power. But what for? This tyrant had killed billions if not trillions of people for wealth and power. Every second he let him live was a second too long. How disgusting would it be to let Frieza charge to full power and possibly threaten the lives of his comrades and his son just for a challenge? No, but still, he hoped that one day, someone would face him who he could actually fight on equal grounds, someone who would push him to his limits. But for now he would be happy. He had avenged his race and rid the universe of a tyrant. Campo and the rest of the gang flew up to Brockhardt. Way to go, Dad. Yeah, Goku, you did it, said Krillin. Way to go, Brockhardt, you showed that freak, said Yamcha. Well done, sir. You are truly an excellent fighter and a great king, said Tien. I am proud of you, son. You did not let your wants interfere with your duty. You are a true guardian, said Kami. If you didn't look so different, I'd think you were an Namekian, said Nail, a smirk on his face. Brockhardt just looked at them impassively, before smiling and nodding his head. Our job is done, we can go home. Kami, Nail, I don't want to leave you guys alone on Namek. Come with us to Earth and we'll use the Dragon Balls there to wish your people back to Namek, said Brockhardt. Nail and Kami both looked at each other before nodding. Campo opened up the bags of capsules before decapsulizing the ship. The warriors all entered and set their course to planet Earth. A sense of accomplishment in them and a smile on all of their faces. In a palace at the edge of Universe 7. So, you've done it, said Whis as he stared down into his crystal ball at the ship. To have defeated Frieza so easily. You are progressing quickly, but still you are 10,000 times too weak to ever be a challenge to Bills, let alone myself. Said Whis out loud, causing the sleeping Bills to stir before he fell back into his deep sleep, letting out a purr. Whis simply laughed at the image before he stood back up and went outside his palace to stare at the vastness of the universe. Brockhardt, you are truly an enigma. But watching you is the most exciting thing I've done in the last millennia, thought Whis. I wonder what you'll do next. Surely your Saiyan blood will eventually overpower you with lust for a challenge. How will you sate it, I wonder? Ahahaha, this is better than that show Lost. I can't wait to see what happens next, thought Whis, a delightful smile on his face. He had absolutely no idea what he had gotten himself into.